Okay, so we're here with Alexander Ljung of Soundcloud, and he's going to talk to us a bit about his speech and about current trends in his industry. So can you maybe kind of expand a little bit on the themes of your speech today, Unmuting the Web?
Sure. So to try and condense the whole thing down, I think the key point was trying to show that sound is something that we think is going to become a larger part of the web than video actually is today, which in some ways is a crazy idea, but there's a lot of things that are very cool with sound, and we kind of go through a couple of them in the talk. One is that it's super simple to create. Like, I have a record button on my phone through the Soundcloud app where, wherever I am, I can just capture sound. It's simple, even simpler than writing a tweet. Another thing is, if you think about how you consume sound, like video or text, you have to be fully absorbed in it. With sound, you can be listening to it while doing other things at the same time, so you're able to parallelize the consumption experience, which is a big part. Also, I think I was trying to get the point across that we tend to only look at a very small part of the music world as sort of everything sound, like the 50 Cents, the Lady Gagas, but actually, like, there's a big trend in anybody being able to create music on their phone, like really simple stuff, like really getting into that. And sort of with the Smule T-Pen application, people ended up creating 3 times as many tracks as the entire iTunes catalog in 6 months through this one application. So when it becomes that simple to create, then we get a lot more people creating. I think also there's a lot of audio out there already that we don't tend to think about all the time. Every news organization posts audio. There's millions of podcasts, audiobooks, all this kind of stuff. And also the component that we're seeing now is that people are starting to use it as self-expression. So using the phone to capture like a little memory and then just share that. So we're trying to get that part across, that sound is a lot bigger than only music, and even music itself is a lot bigger than what we tend to think of as just music. A couple of other things that's been interesting is to see that sound is something that directly connects with sort of the emotional part of your brain. So it seems like, as humans, we have a very emotional reaction to listening to sound. I mean, I think people can relate to it when listening to music. You get certain feelings. It also works with conversations, and sound in general tends to trigger a lot of emotion. And the final part was kind of about how, as society, we're entering this point now where we're becoming literate in sound, I think. We're not just reading sounds anymore. Literacy is about reading and writing. We're starting to get to a point where we're all comfortable with being able to create sounds in different ways. And I think that has, the promise of all of us becoming literate in sound.
Sure. And what opportunities do you think this Unmuting of the Web provides for startup businesses? Oh, I mean, it's for startups, it's great, right? Because it means that you suddenly have. We can look at how big text sharing, blogging, status updates, photos and videos are on the web. They're massive categories, large parts of the web. And then all of a sudden now we have sound as well. And there's a lot of different things to be done there. Everything from apps for sending birthday greetings, apps to recording conversations, doing interviews, a lot of things, and making it simpler to create music. And what we've done with SoundCloud is that we've made our APIs available, and we made it very simple to build applications on top of sort of the core sharing platform of SoundCloud. Yeah. So I think for a startup now, it's exciting times, so you can dive into this whole world of sound. There's already a lot of infrastructure in terms of SoundCloud's APIs there that you can leverage. So a good example is an app called SoundRed, which was built in one weekend that allows SoundCloud users to sell their tracks to fans. It was one weekend. They built the whole app, launched it, and now there's a ton of people using that to actually sell their tracks. Okay, and what tips would you give a startup business looking to kind of penetrate this space?
I think the thing that's been sort of key success factor, or key factor to why we're still around, has been that we're really focused on the creator side. I think a lot of people tend to shift and think of only about consumption of music, but again, there's a lot more to sound than only music. And I think that you have a really good advantage if you're focusing on the creator side. Creators are very, very engaged about what they do. So if you build something that creators like, you'll have a very strong engagement with your users. And the still less people focusing on the creator side, less people than people focusing on the consumer side. So I think there's a massive opportunity there for people to do stuff.
And what sort of disruptive technologies are we seeing in the market at the moment?
I think a lot about there's hardware technologies, but I think a lot about interfaces as well. I think what is really disruptive is the different tools for creating music that are often on tablets or phones. That's very disruptive to the behavior of music making. There's obviously the ongoing sort of disruption of being able to have everything cloud-based. That we're all kind of aware of, but it's a massive advantage for a startup to be able to do that. What else do we have? We have the general trend of things being multi-platform and mobile as well, which has been a big part for us this year. And what's nice about what's annoying about the multi-platform thing is that you have to build for several platforms. It gets more complex to manage. The cool thing about it is that you get different kinds of behaviors, and like when you're really into like trying to figure out what users do and how they use it, then that's quite a fun thing to go through.
Yeah, sure. And how difficult is it for a company in the audio and video space to monetize?
I think it totally depends on what business you have, right? I think we've gone for the route of saying, we're building this for creators. We want to have a very simple business model, so we have free accounts and paid accounts. We don't have any ads. There's no monetizing content or anything like that. It's very straightforward. It's like, this is a tool that hopefully provides value for you. If it's very valuable, then hopefully you'll upgrade to one of the paid accounts. I think that again is another area where I think monetization of creators is easier than monetization of consumers. If we look at the music instruments markets is like $18–19 billion. Recorded music is about $9. So people that get engaged with sound and with music and creation, they're very happy to spend large amounts of money on it.